Manushi, life changed for you overnight after you became Miss World in 2017. Did you anticipate this kind of success while you were pursuing medicine or you started participating in pageants? Take us through that journey.
Well, I don't think I anticipated winning. You can never know whether you're going to win or not. And especially because I came from a background of medicine, I didn't know anything about pageants. So Miss India was the first pageant that I ever went to. But what I did anticipate was the journey. I knew that it would be exciting. And since I gave my 100% to it, I anticipated that the outcome is going to be good.
You brought home the crown 17 years after Priyanka Chopra won the Miss World title in 2000. What does this title mean to you and what does it bring along with it?
For me, Miss World means that dreams do come true. I think the first dream that I remember I've ever had as a kid was that I want to be Miss World, and I didn't know what it meant, but I just wanted it, and it's just with that dream coming true, it opened doors to even more dreams. I'm still a dreamer. But at the same time, what it came with is definitely a lot of responsibility. Since I've grown up watching a lot of superheroes, I'd quote Spider-Man here, saying that with great power comes great responsibility. And yes, you do know that there are girls out there who look up to you when you go to places. There are people who don't expect you to be. I was 20 when I won, so they don't expect you to be a 20-year-old. They expect you to be a 30-year-old in a 20-year-old's body. So at that time, you do know that whatever you say, whatever you do, you have influence over others. So there's a responsibility, but it's not something that's scary. I think it's something which you enjoy. You enjoy the kind of people that you meet. You meet people that you look up to. You meet all sorts of people. You meet leaders. You meet children from around the world. And I think whatever Miss World has given me over this one entire year that I've lived in has kind of made me a better version of myself.
Take us through that winning answer in that tense moment as well as the winning moment. You were asked which profession deserves the highest salary.
Yes.
And you said a mother deserves the highest salary, not necessarily in terms of money, but the love and care that we give.
I think, I would have given a different answer, but I was just so emotional on stage that night. And I saw my mom. And I'll tell you one thing. When I said I wanted to be Miss World, my mom is the one that put a stamp on that dream and said that you will be Miss World. If I have gone to classes where I have never worn heels in my life, and I get selected at the Miss India auditions, and a week later I have to be at the North Zone. I don't know how to walk in heels. And I remember buying my first pair of stilettos with my mom, and she took me to these classes where a ramp walk teacher taught me how to walk in those heels. And my mom would make sure that every evening before dinner, I would spend 15 minutes in front of her, showing her my walk and my poses. So it's been a competition that both of us participated in. And I knew that moment was not about me, it was about her. It was about her dream that she's lived with me. And well, ever since that answer, she's never scolded me.
That's wonderful. You've come a long way since then. There are plenty of young achievers in this room. Could you tell us how do you handle this sudden success and fame that you get at such a young age? How does one ensure that success does not go to your head?
Well, I think everyone present here who's achieved so much at such a young age has achieved it because they know how to handle it. I think life doesn't put you in a situation that you can't cope up with. But also, for me personally, fame was never the goal. And unfortunately, I didn't know what Miss World came with. It's a byproduct. And as long as I treat it as a byproduct, I know that it's never going to get into my head. Yes, it is quite overwhelming initially, because suddenly, like when you're always used to being in your books and just being around the few people that you know, suddenly everyone knows you. And it's quite endearing, but it's also scary because there's everyone around you and everyone wants more of you, wants to talk to you, and you really don't know how to handle it, because that is something I did not anticipate. Silly me. But at the same time, I feel that fame is something which you can never be a goal for anyone. That's not something that you would want. But what I wanted was to be Miss World, to be able to live that year with that identity and to be able to influence others and at the same time, learn myself because you are a spokesperson for an organization such as Beauty with a Purpose. So I think that since that was the goal, fame never really affected me. But most importantly, is the fact that I've had my family close to me, my parents. I stay with my parents, and I'm 22, I am allowed to do that. But since I stay with my family and I'm still the same girl to them, I still talk to them, I still share the same things. If I've had a bad day, I still have a shoulder and a lap to cry on. If I've had a great day, I've got friends to share it with. So as long as you keep the people who've known you from the very beginning close to you, then nothing else affects you.
You said Miss World is a byproduct, but there's a certain response.
Fame is a byproduct.
Yeah, but there's a certain responsibility associated with it.
Yes.
Your Beauty with a Purpose project, for instance, or your foundation, Mission Shakti, aims to educate people about menstrual awareness, menstrual hygiene. Could you tell us a little more about that, please?
So Project Shakti, I think I'm really happy when I see the journey of when I started it when I was 18 in my college. And I realized that people came with all sorts of diseases to the hospital. And when you actually take the history, and in second year they teach you how to take the medical history of every patient coming in, and you start assisting the senior doctors just to learn. So that's when I realized that health, like basic hygiene, is something if that can be dealt with, and especially because my college was in rural Haryana, that will help you prevent with a lot of more diseases later in life. So I wanted to work for feminine hygiene, and I realized that also to bring change or to change to better any sort of a situation, you need to remove the cause, you don't have to deal with the effects. We thought there were a lot of people who said that we can start fundraisers to provide free sanitary products to women, but that wasn't the problem. There were three main problems. The first thing is obviously lack of awareness. The second thing is there's inaccessibility of sanitary products. And the third thing is, of course, myths and taboos. So myths and taboos, I feel, can be dealt with time. When people have more awareness and they know more about it, then myths and taboos automatically go. You can't fight against a culture. But we started by spreading awareness, and we created women entrepreneurs who kind of helped us grow this system where it became a self-sustainable kind of a system where people could provide for themselves. So instead of providing people, give them knowledge, give them the skill to generate a system where the economy goes back into the society. So people found sanitary pads expensive, so they didn't find it necessary to spend money on it. People didn't know, why do we need it when we can probably use something else, maybe a piece of rag that we find in our homes. So it's a long journey, but to sum it all up, I can tell you what is the most recent development. So we have installed machines in around 12 states in India, and we are also in South Africa. We're moving to Rwanda and Kenya. We're in Sri Lanka, and now we're also planning to go to Nepal. So we use natural fiber to create sanitary pads, and they are available in the rural market. We're trying to bring them into the urban market as well. And these sanitary pads we employ tribal women from the community. We train them. We have an engineer stationed at each of these places. We train them how to produce, so we also generate employment. They are the ones who use fiber, which is naturally available over there. In the Northeast, we have jute. In Kenya, we have banana leaf fiber, which is the quality is as good. And at the same time, it's sold at a much lesser price. So the economy is plowed back into the community. The people are producing it, and the people are purchasing it. So that is the latest development that we have.
We've seen a lot of beauty queens eventually enter the film world. So is a Bollywood debut on the cards? When do we see you on the silver screen?
Well, I've always been asked this question. I think, again, like I said, I'm a dreamer. So becoming an actor was something that I never anticipated last year. But today, I think I'm happy. And I'm really happy about and really excited about the fact that, yes, I am doing a movie. And it's something that, it's been a journey in itself, because last year when people asked me about movies, I think at that time I didn't know what acting was about. But now that I decided to prepare myself to actually understand that what is needed out of me. So when opportunities came in, I wanted to be prepared for these opportunities. And as and when I've been preparing myself, I'm still in the process, I've realized that I've started to enjoy it more. I didn't want to do it just because it's something which is expected of you. I wanted to do it because it's something, is it where I see myself? Is it what makes me happy? And I'm happy that I've gotten a dream project. I don't think I could have expected a better movie with my dream production house. So hopefully very soon I'll be able to speak more on it.
Okay, and if I may ask you, what are your future goals now, personally and professionally?
I think my ultimate goal in life is a secret, but I feel that life is achieved in milestones. I set a milestone. My first milestone was to get into a medical college, which I did. The second was definitely winning Miss World. Acting has become like a detour, but it's come in place. But I still don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know next year what I'm going to do. A year ago, I didn't know I'd be sitting here and speaking in front of all of you. But I think in the future, I just see myself as a better version of who I am, just coming closer to who Manushi really is. And that's what I want life to be about. I think I don't see a long-term goal yet. I know where I want to be, but how am I going to reach there? And I know that there is a destination, but the journey is still something that I plan every day, which is still being mapped out. But in a nutshell, I'd say that every day, every night when I sleep, I want to review my day, and I want to know that, okay, today I did something better than what I did yesterday. Today I'm somewhere more close. Maybe I spoke better, or today I did something more. I'm a better person than who I was yesterday. So I think that would be more of a goal in my head. And the ultimate goal is still, I think it's still being, it still has time to unravel.
We wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for your time. And before you get off stage, Forbes India would like to honor you with the Youth Icon Award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manushi and Kunal, for joining us here today.